I've tested almost every AI smart glass product that's come out recently, and almost all of them are trying to solve the same problem: getting information to you. Notifications, directions, AI answers, floating displays. But these are the first smart glasses I've tested that are trying to solve the opposite problem. They aren't focused on helping you see more. They're focused on helping you remember more. And after wearing them for the last few days, I think MemoMind might actually have found a completely different direction for AI glasses. Hey guys, this is Spencer with Tech with Spencer, and today we are talking the MemoMind 1. This video is sponsored by MemoMind, and they sent me out a free unit to test out. However, the following review is completely my own opinion. Now, what exactly is MemoMind? The easiest way to describe it is that it's a pair of AI smart glasses that are focused on helping you remember more throughout your day. Instead of pulling out your phone every single time you want to record a thought, save an idea, take any notes during a meeting, translate a conversation, or look up any information, the goal is to have all of that available directly from a pair of glasses that you can wear all day. The glasses feature a built-in display, AI assistant capabilities, real-time translation, meetings recording and summaries, navigation, captions, note-taking, and what MemoMind calls AI long memory, which is designed to help organize and surface information you've captured over time. One thing that immediately stands out is that MemoMind doesn't include a camera, on purpose. They're trying to make these look super incognito, similar to other brands that I've mentioned. And other than the bulky-ish speaker output behind the ears, they did a really good job with this. If you weren't looking specifically behind my ears or saw the smaller screens on my lenses, you would never even know that these are smart glasses. The focus here is less about capturing the world around you and more about helping you capture information that's relevant to you. MemoMind is incubated by XGIMI, a company with a long history in display technology, and this is their first major entry into the wearable world. So with that overview out of the way, let's take a closer look at the hardware. Now, let's talk about the hardware, because this is one of the first things that surprised me about the MemoMind 1. When you first pick up these bad boys, they don't really feel like a first generation product. They actually feel extremely well defined. The frame I'm testing now comes in at about 46 grams, which puts it among the lighter smart glasses that I've tested recently. And after wearing them for several hours at a time, I've never really found myself wanting to take them off because of the weight. The frame itself uses a titanium alloy mixture, which gives it a really nice balance between feeling lightweight and still feeling like a premium product. Again, there are no cameras on these glasses. I know this is one of the biggest hot topic items for smart glasses, but I love it. In my opinion, I would rather have my glasses be more discreet than having a giant in-your-face camera when I'm talking to someone. People just automatically assume that you're recording, and it's just kind of awkward. I'm glad that they designed these to not include the camera because it's really a feature I don't want and I wouldn't miss. MemoMind is launching with 3 frame styles: the Gotham, the Archive, and the Nomad. I really like the style choices, and they fit a lot nicer on my head than any other type of smart glasses so far, because I have a really big head. Looking around the glasses, they're actually pretty clean from a design standpoint. On the front, most people won't immediately notice that they're smart glasses. The displays are integrated into the lenses, and they're fairly subtle when they're turned off. The area where you can definitely tell something extra is going on is behind the ears. They're thicker than a normal pair of glasses because that's where the battery, electronics, speakers, and the microphones are all housed. Guys, built-in speakers in your glasses. It's like wearing headphones all the time with nothing in your ear. I absolutely love this feature, and it's what a lot of other glasses have missed previously. Personally, I think MemoMind did an amazing job balancing functionality without making these look overly futuristic or drawing too much attention in the public. Now, of course, the hardware is only part of the story because none of that really matters if the display isn't any good. Now, let's talk about the display, because at least for me, this is basically the reason why you buy smart glasses. MemoMind is using a dual micro LED display system built directly into the lenses, and according to the company, they can reach up to 2000 nits of brightness. What really matters is whether that you can actually see the information when you're out in the real world though. After testing these indoors, outdoors, and out in direct sunlight, I was actually pretty impressed with the visibility. Even on bright days, I was able to still read notifications, navigations, prompts, captions, and other information without constantly searching for the display. The display itself sits in the upper portion of your field of view, so when you're looking straight ahead, it doesn't feel like it's blocking the world around you. Instead, it feels more like information is just floating off to the side when you need it. One thing I like is that MemoMind has gone with a green monochrome display rather than a full color type of display. Personally, I love this. I feel like the full color display can be a bit loud or in your face, and most of the time the lenses are extremely massive. For the types of information these glasses are showing, like captions, directions, notes, AI responses, and notifications, it keeps everything super simple and extremely easy to read, and that's what I love. The viewing experience also feels surprisingly natural after a short adjustment period. When I first put these on, I was definitely aware of the display being there. But after a while, my brain started treating it more like a heads-up display that I could glance at when I needed it rather than something I was constantly focused on. What I can appreciate is the display feels purposeful. It isn't trying to overwhelm you with the information or turn the glasses into a giant floating computer screen. Instead, it's giving you just enough information at the right time to be useful. That's probably one of the biggest themes I've noticed while using MemoMind. The goal doesn't seem to be putting more things in front of your eyes. The goal is helping you access information when you need it and then getting it out of the way. I really like how their mission is to be kind of like a background helper. They aren't trying to overwhelm you with stuff in your vision, but they know when to show you notifications and other important items. It feels very tasteful. Of course, a display is only as useful as the software powering it, so let's dive into the AI features, because that's really where MemoMind is trying to separate itself from other smart glasses. Now, let's talk about software, because at the end of the day, smart glasses live or die based on what they can actually do for you. Instead of thinking about these as a pair of glasses with a bunch of random AI features crammed in, I found it easier to think about them as a tool for capturing and surfacing information throughout the day. For example, one of the features I ended up using most was the AI recorder. Whether you're sitting in a meeting, brainstorming ideas, planning content, or having a conversation you don't want to forget, you can start a recording directly from the glasses. Once it's done, MemoMind generates a structured summary that pulls out key points, action items, and important takeaways. As somebody constantly juggling video ideas, projects, and random thoughts throughout the day, being able to quickly record something and come back to a summarized version later is incredibly convenient. It also helps that these come preloaded with OpenClaw right out of the box. Another feature that works surprisingly well was the real-time translation. MemoMind supports over 26 languages right now and can display translations directly into your field of view. If you travel frequently or work with people who speak different languages, I can definitely see this becoming one of the most useful features in the entire system. The glasses also support live captions, which can display spoken conversations directly on the display in real time. This is not only used for accessibility purposes, but also in loud environments where hearing every single word can be pretty difficult. For creators and presenters, there's also an AI teleprompter feature built in. The teleprompter allows you to display notes, talking points, or prepared scripts directly inside the glasses while maintaining natural eye contact for your audience. Then you have some of the more everyday features like navigation, calendar integration, notifications, and idea notes. Idea notes is exactly what it sounds like. Anytime a thought pops into your head, you can quickly save it and move on with your day without needing to grab your phone. Over time, MemoMind attempts to organize these ideas and recordings into something more useful rather than simply creating a giant pile of notes you'll never look over again. And that's really where MemoMind's overall philosophy starts to show. Most smart glasses focus on delivering information to you. MemoMind is focused on helping you capture information from your life and make it easier to find later. Whether that's a meeting, a conversation, a random thought, or something you learn throughout the day, The goal is to create a system that remembers those moments so you don't have to. Like I said before, I love how it's kind of just like a background assistant taking notes throughout the day rather than constantly popping up with notifications all the time and distracting you. Now, all those features are useful on their own, but the thing MemoMind is really trying to build goes beyond just recording meetings or taking notes. The bigger idea is something they call AI long memory. The way I understand it, the goal isn't just to collect information throughout your day, it is to help connect that information together over a long period of time. All right, think about how many conversations, meetings, ideas, reminders, and random thoughts that you've had in a single week, every single week. Most of that information either gets forgotten completely or ends up buried somewhere you'll never find again, like your Notes app. MemoMind is trying to solve that problem by creating a searchable history of information you've captured while using the glasses. For example, let's say you had a conversation with someone a week ago and you couldn't remember a detail that was discussed. Instead of trying to remember it for yourself, the idea is that you can search your history and have the AI surface the information for you. The same thing applies to meetings, project discussions, personal ideas, tasks, and notes that you've captured throughout the day. Another feature tied into the system is something called wishes. The idea behind wishes is definitely different. Throughout the day, we all have random goals, plans, and ideas that pop into our heads. Maybe it's just a project that you want to start, a place you want to visit, or something you want to learn more about. Normally, those thoughts disappear as quickly as they show up. Wishes is designed to capture those intentions and make them part of your longer-term memory in a system so that they don't get lost. Over time, MemoMind can bring back those ideas to help you and keep them from falling through the cracks. It's one of those features that I'm going to need more time with to fully evaluate, but I can definitely see the appeal of having a system that's not just remembering what you've done, but also helping you remember what you wanted to do in the first place. MemoMind also includes features like moments, which are designed to organize your day into a more structured timeline, and Up Next, which attempts to identify important tasks and reminders from the information you've captured over time. Wishes, Moments, and Up Next are features that are part of the optional Memo Plus subscription service, which as of now is $20 a month. For Moments, it captured my day extremely well. I'm a data engineer, and the summary of Moments yesterday went from heavy technical architecture in Snowflake to welcoming 2 7-week-old foster kittens.
Oh yeah, there you go.
It was extremely accurate, detailed, and I believe if I needed to go back and find something in the future, this would be extremely useful for me. Now, whether this type of AI memory system is something you'll personally use is probably going to depend on your lifestyle. If you're somebody that attends lots of meetings, works on multiple projects, creates content, studies, travels, or simply struggles to keep track of everything that's happening throughout your day, I can definitely see the value here. I can't wait till I have a couple weeks of usage so I can go back and really test out the long-term memory feature. Of course, none of the features would matter if the companion app wasn't very good. Thankfully, the MemoMind app is actually pretty straightforward and pretty easy to use. This is where you'll manage your recordings, AI summaries, idea notes, calendar integrations, settings, and everything else related to the glasses. One thing I really liked is that the app doesn't feel overly complicated. It feels pretty simple. Everything is organized fairly logically, and after a few minutes of exploring, I never really found myself hunting through menus trying to find something. The AI summaries generated from the recordings are easy to review inside the app, which is super important because that's where a lot of the value from the system comes from. If you're using features like AI Recorder regularly, you'll spend almost as much time inside the app as you do wearing the glasses. As with any first generation product, there are still areas I'd like to see improved over time, but overall the software experience felt stable throughout my testing, and I didn't really run into any major issues that prevented me from using the core features. Now, let's talk about battery life because this is another area where MemoMind makes some pretty bold claims. According to MemoMind, these glasses are capable of delivering 16 hours of mixed usage on a single charge. Battery life ends up being one of the things I worried about the least while I was testing them. Unlike some smart glasses where you're constantly thinking about your remaining battery percentage, MemoMind feels much more like a device I could put on in the morning and use throughout the day without constantly checking how much battery I have left. Now, obviously your mileage is going to vary depending on how heavily you're using features like AI recordings, translations, navigation, and display brightness, but overall I was pretty impressed with the endurance. This is so important because the entire idea behind MemoMind revolves around capturing information throughout your day. If the battery dies halfway through the afternoon, that experience is pretty much going to fall apart pretty quickly. Now, if you're interested in picking up the MemoMind 1, here's how the launch is being handled. MemoMind opened reservations on April 28th, and the official Kickstarter campaign launches on June 28th, 2026. Right now, you can place a $30 deposit through MemoMind.com. The important thing is that this isn't just reserving your spot in line. That deposit locks in the early Kickstarter price of $399, which is pretty significantly discounted compared to the planned $599 MSRP. According to MemoMind, anyone who places a deposit before the Kickstarter launch will be eligible for that lower pricing tier, along with some additional launch incentives. So if this is a product you've been considering, it's probably worth understanding the reservation process before the Kickstarter campaign goes live. So what's my verdict on MemoMind 1? Honestly, I think it's a really interesting product. What stands out to me isn't necessarily any single feature though. It's the overall direction MemoMind is trying to make with these glasses. The focus on capturing all-day conversations, organizing ideas, summarizing information, and helping you remember things over time feels different from a lot of what we're currently seeing in the smart glasses space. Now, I do want to be transparent here. I've only been wearing these for a couple days, so I don't think it's fair for me to sit here and make long-term claims about how they'll fit into my daily life months from now. What I can say is that my first impressions have been very positive, and I think there's a lot of potential here. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to continue testing these, putting them through real-world scenarios and doing what many of you have come to expect on this channel. That means a full teardown, a deep dive into the hardware, a closer look at the software experience, battery testing, long-term usability, and a complete breakdown of how these compare to other smart glasses that I've reviewed. And don't worry, of course we are going to do a deep comparison head-to-head on other products that I've featured on this channel. My goal isn't to tell you whether these glasses are right for you. My goal is to show you everything I can about these so that you can make the decision for yourself. So if there's anything specific you'd like me to test, compare, or cover in the full breakdown, let me know down in the comments below. And as always, if this review is helpful, smash that subscribe button so you know when I do the next comparisons, next deep dives, and the next feature reviews on all the new things in tech that I can get my hands on. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. MemoMind 1, crafted for the mindful.